2 seconds.
It's Two on the Aisle with me, Charles Gross, and Jeff Goodman. Tonight, David Lefkowitz sits in for Jeff as we review West Side Story, 33 Variations, and Impressionism. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Two on the Aisle. Good evening, I'm Charles Gross, and it's time for Two on the Aisle.
Hey, Charlie, and I'm Dave Lefkowitz, and always good to be here, even though it's even better when Jeff is here. But he'll be with us in spirit, and also, I'm sure, on our Tony show that we always do every year in just a couple of weeks from now.
Yes.
So what are we talking about this week about the theater? What have we seen?
But first, let's talk about a review we're going to do here, Impressionism, which brings back one of my favorite actresses, Joan Allen, after... Has it been that 20 years since Heidi Chronicles? Something,
probably has been 20 years since
like
Heidi.
that.
Has she been gone since Heidi?
Apparently she has.
Oh, man. Okay.
Yeah. And Jeremy Irons. I don't know when the last time he was on Broadway, but...
well, I'll watch Jeremy Irons in anything. I remember seeing him in The Real Thing and just
that
thinking,
maybe that was the last time we...
Possibly, yeah.
Yes, but...
because the movie's called. Yeah.
Yes, they're in, and this play reminds me, if nothing else, Sunday in the Park with George.
Okay.
Because it takes place in a gallery, and each of those pictures represents characters who we're going to see. But in this case, it is the two characters who run the gallery. In other words, played by Irons and Allen. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't.
The play works, or sometimes the relationship? What do you mean?
These sequences. I meant the play. Yeah. No, the relationship, well, we'll see. You have to see the play to know if it works or not. Right. And what kind of relationship they have. Basically, she's a gallery owner, and he was a photographer who needed a job. Right, yeah. He kind of wanders in. Yes. Although he's sort of part-time, semi-professional. It's hard to... I don't know how he makes his living, probably as a photographer. Well, until the end of the play, I was wondering how they made their living, because they don't seem to sell any paintings. Exactly, but eventually they do. Right. And I have to say, it's a lot of quick minuets, I guess, for lack of a better term. A lot of short pieces when we see how these paintings relate to these people. And in one case, she posed for one of them. Mm-hmm. Another case takes us back to her childhood. One of his pictures, we find the story behind that. Right. And it doesn't work in the beginning, at least not for me. But in the end, it slowly, but surely comes together. Maybe because the playwright had more interesting ideas, maybe because he finally moves on to what he wanted to say. Yeah, I mean, I very much agree with you. Okay. But I get a little impatient with the critics on this one, because the critics were not very kind to this play, and they're all saying, oh, it dawdles about muffins and boxes with string versus tape, and they're saying it's all inconsequential. And I'm that like, part no, I the playwright's building something with that. Yes. He's talking about something there. Yes, the problem is it takes a while before he gets around to taking that string and tying it together. And but in the middle, you have some problems. You have a lot of dead spots. I agree with you. Yeah, but you have some. But once he gets into the theme of the play, which is basically what these pictures mean to these people, and the role that they played on their lives, it starts off very like a lot of dead weight. And there is some dead weight throughout, and I think I had some problem with some of the backstory scenes. Yes. I mean, I almost wish they didn't go to Africa, and they didn't go to just put us. Right, Africa people. I kind of liked. Okay. Okay. But the scene for her childhood. The scene where she's posing. I honestly, kind of passed out during that scene. Oh, really? Okay. No, I stayed awake, but I could. And she was in a bed sheet or something, so you know it had to be. Well, yeah, Joan Allen in a bed sheet and still fell asleep. Yes. So sorry for you on that. Yes, so was I. We get older, it happens. Yeah. But as I said, I need more entertaining plays to keep me awake. This is one of those plays where if the critics had loved it, I'd be like, it's got a lot of problems and it's not so great. It's kind of, but because the critics didn't like it, I feel I'm taking it a little bit to heart, and I realized that I kind of liked it, and that I felt. I liked the romance at the end. It gave me a little bit of not a tear, but a little lump in the old throat. And considering the fact that you didn't know sometimes where it was really going with all these pieces. I had absolutely no idea where it was going. So then it did pull it together. And I respect that tremendously when a playwright goes from nothing into something. Just to take a moment, the best time I've ever seen that done
was in a play off-Broadway called Walking the Dead that was done about 15, 20 years ago at the late Circle Rep. And it started with literal noise. It started with people literally converging on stage, talking, yelling. It was just a cacophony, and there was a blender going, and there was a back gate with things hung on it. And for the first 20 minutes, you're just, what the hell is going on? And by the end of it, it was one of the most moving things I've ever seen.
Right. Well, I wouldn't call this one of the most moving things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But it does come together. It is entertaining. As I said, I like Joan. I remember watching her in Heidi Chronicles and in Burn This, just watching her react to things.
She is a wonderful actress. It's great to see her again.
Something, just her facial expressions, her eyes.
But let's not forget also Andre de Shields.
Yes.
He really wakes up I'm just going to call it the second act. It did have two acts, but then the playwright in the last minutes of previews condensed it into a one act play. Yeah. But I'm saying he has this great scene, really wonderful scene, and it totally wakes up the whole thing, and it goes right through the end.
It does. It does, and it also has Marsha Mason in it,
she's very good, but it's almost a wasted kind of a role. Sorry for that, to say
pretty
that.
much.
But I would recommend
Michael T. Weiss, Aaron Lazar, and Margarita Levieva,
playing a couple of
several roles.
She looks almost unrecognizable between the two.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes, very much so. All very good. Bottom line is, I would give this 3 to 3.5 playbills.
Oh, three solid three.
Yeah.
Same for 33 Variations for me, and about maybe 3 1/4, almost 3.5 for West Side Story.
I'd go a little further. I'd go as high as 4 for West Side Story.
Okay, cool.
Yes. And when you go to the theater, look for Jeff, David, and me, us 2 plus 1, on the aisle.